Well.
Hey toy fans, Aaron here. With the latest release of the Vintage Collection line, Hasbro's definitely getting us ready for that sail barge release, and included in that wave is Klaatu. So let's head to that table and check this one out. And here's a look at him on the card. This is, of course, the Vintage Collection line. You got that nice Star Wars Return of the Jedi logo up there. Klaatu's gift card in the name bubble. Off to the side, pretty decent image of Klaatu as he was, in his actual costume. Gotta say, personally, I don't really like the look of the layout with this photo. Makes him look very small against the barge with the railing so high above his head. I get it, it's photoshopped. I guess I would have liked to have seen it laid out a little better, but that's just me. Backside, everything pretty much the same here. Top half shows you your other figures that are also available, with a brief write-up about the Vintage Collection line celebrating the legacy of Star Wars. Upper right corner, you got the number in the lineup, which for him is VC135, and then lower half is your legal information. And now out of the packaging, this is just another fantastic looking figure from Hasbro. Klaatu has been released before, but that was back in the Power of the Force 2 line as the Cinema Scenes 3-pack, so we're definitely getting a much needed upgrade for a figure here, and they did a terrific job with it. Through the head, he's looking very representative of how he should look. I love the weathering, the silver detailing for scratches and stuff they did on his helmet, and that is glued onto the head. That's not a removable headpiece or anything. Green painting for the face is looking pretty good. Rather shiny, and things don't quite match up well with the neck. It's pretty minor though. It's not horribly noticeable. And that glossy look is kind of maintained within the inner area of his face. You get outside these little yellow spiky bits and things are much more matted there. Nice dark painting for the eyes, and then as I mentioned, those little yellow spiky bits, painting for that is looking really good too. Through the midsection and pretty much even including the legs, he's got this kind of white jumpsuit, if you will. He's got that on. Very nice sculpting with all the various lines and subtle wrinkles sculpted in there. Nice wash to that, really highlighting the various folds in the fabric. As already mentioned, you got his green neck and a slight brown chin strap coming around, painted onto the neck for, the strap of the helmet. That's pretty well painted. And then he's got kind of this brown shoulder piece on or something, a little wrap of some sorts. Really good detailing and painting for that. Off to the sides of the shoulders, a little bit of a tanner piece painted in there. It doesn't look like it's, necessarily an armor piece like he had with the Gamorrean guard. Looking at the photo, it does seem like it's cloth. For the most part, good painting to that. I will say on my figure at the top of the left arm, a little bit of overspray going on to the chest there. The one that I have in the packaging doesn't have that, so that's something that's definitely going to vary figure to figure on you. Painting on the backside's looking pretty good with those brown straps coming around from the front, and then again that piece that extends over the shoulder. Through the midsection, he's got this little wrap piece on. That belt painting looking really nice. You got a mix of dark brown and gold painted in there. That's pretty accurate. It shouldn't be all solid. If you notice on the photo of the packaging, it is a gold link chain running through the leather laces of his belt. So nicely done there. And then overall for that wrap piece extending down around his backside from the belt, great quilted pattern sculpted in there, and a very nice paint job or a brown wash to it. So everything's really highlighted very nicely. And then for the legs, as I already mentioned, it's that jumpsuit. Nice wrinkles in the vertical lining for the folds of the fabric as it should be. And it has a nice little draping look to it. It doesn't look like it's skin tight, which I don't believe it should be. It looks rather baggy. And then around the legs, for me, a little bit of brown overspray extending on the upper part of his right leg. Once again, something that's going to vary figure to figure, so I'm not too worried about that. Otherwise, you got some nice brown painting for the wraps going around his ankles. And then for the shoes, as you can see, you got a matte black painted for the shoe itself. And then on the upper part of the shoe, you got a dark brown wrap painted on there. Couple straps painted in going down to the sides, just not extending. It doesn't paint all the way around the bottom of the shoe, which is fine. It completes the look, though. So really just another great figure from Hasbro here, and certainly living up to what you would expect from the Vintage Collection. As for articulation, the neck, there's a double ball post in there. So you got a ball joint going into the base of the head and then back down into the base of the neck. So aside from your 360 spinning, you get a great range of motion side to side, up and down. So it really rolls all over the place. Shoulders are going to rotate 360 and lift up to go straight out. Elbows are going to bend just past 90 degrees, and then you've got your swiveling in there. The wrists are going to swivel for both hands. And then each wrist turns side to side. Waist articulation is in the upper part of the chest, so you're able to spin them still 360 degrees. Not all that much for crunching forward and back, but you get a little bit more for side to side. The legs are going to do the splits about like so. You know, this does get in the way a little bit, but still that's pretty decent range of motion there. And then at the hip, the very top part of the thigh does spin around. So then you can bring the legs out in a seated position if you want, and even getting them go back a little bit. And then you've got the added swivel in the middle of the thigh, or about the upper third, I suppose. Single joint at the knee, but you get a good 90-degree bend. And then you got your swiveling at that joint also. And at the feet, you know, just a very slight bend forward and back. Not that much range of motion there. But of course, no problem with the rotation at the ankle. As for accessories, he does come with a staff, and you know, it's looking pretty good. Pretty decent sculpting to it, little bits of detailing here and there throughout the piece. And overall, a very nice silver paint job in addition to the black that you're getting for the coloring. Definitely looks like this has been a, you know, world-used weapon, like it's seen a lot of wear in the universe. So it's definitely looking good, and it does fit in either hand. You can, of course, have them hold it with both hands if you want. So overall, like I said, this is really just another fantastic figure, and certainly what I expect to see from the Vintage Collection line. It's got a great sculpt, a great paint job, and, you know, even his accessory is looking good. It fits in with the figure and doesn't look like just, you know, a cheap piece of plastic. That wraps up this look at the Vintage Collection release of Klaatu. I'd love to know what your thoughts are on this figure in the comment section below. And if you want to keep seeing more videos coming out, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.